Yes, good day, class. I welcome you to our today's class. We are going to be talking about human population growth, term 3 and term 4 revision work. Uh, this is Life Science Grade 11. Let's get going. On the board, I just posted some information that I'm going to use to present today's lesson. I'm going to be presenting on human population growth. Human population growth is just in the total number of people who are living, or a population is the total number of people who are alive within a country. That is actually how many people are in a country who are alive, and then this is affected by a number of factors that are quite long, and we are going to look at them as I go through the presentation. So human population growth for previous years was very low because of high mortality rate. It was low initially or previous years due to high mortality rate as a result of diseases and also some uh, national diseases and conditions and problems that were affecting the plagues and stuff. So mortality rate is just the total number of people who are dying within a country over a period of a year. Mostly it's calculated over a period of a year. It can also be calculated over a total number of thousand births that have been, thousand people that have been born in a country. How many of them have died? So, the mortality rate, it is actually the death rate or the number of people dying, which can be caused because of diseases, because of any other reasons that we can give that contribute to death rate. So population growth it became exponential around the 1750s. The increase or the rapid population increase over a short period of time, which we say exponential growth, it took place around the 1750s. And then we need to look at the various reasons which might have contributed to that rapid population growth. So on the board here, I just posted a graph that is actually accounting on the human population growth, and then the total population in billions. So as we can see from 1750, I'm saying on the vertical axis, there is population in billions. As to take the total number of people, it is given in billions on the y-axis, and then on the x-axis, we have got the years or time in years. There is time in years on the horizontal axis there. So from 1750, the increase in population, it was just there is a marked increase, or there was a gradual increase until somewhere around 18 until around almost 1890s there, when also we could see from 1900 there is a quite rapid population growth, which you say it is called exponential growth, which is a rapid population growth of a short period of time. If you can see, or if we can account to this, we can actually see that there is quite an increase. There is quite some big increases that are there in our population growth over a short period of time, which we can give to say somewhere there it was 4 billion people, and then it went to 5 billion. It went to 5 billion as well, which is also around to 1952. From 1950 to 2000, the population increased up to around 6 billion people, which we can, of course, calculate the total or the margins of increase. But what I'm saying is that population, it went up very much as a result of various factors that we are going to look at, as to say what are those factors which contributed to rapid population increase. There are reasons for exponential population growth, which are some of these ones: advances in medical field, the development and the development in medical field, such as improved method of treating diseases, development of vaccines against infectious diseases, impacted on the population growth. Population increased in very fast, as a result of developments or advances in medical field. Methods of treating diseases in previously some years back, over 1990s, going back then, there were some diseases which were killing young babies or young infants, the six killer diseases, which we talk of like the measles, the diphtheria, the tetanus, and quite a lot of other diseases that were there. But those diseases, they are now no longer a problem because the advances in medical field has managed to find vaccines where we can talk about now. Babies born of now, they are vaccinated against various diseases, and then those diseases can no longer have problems. We can even give a typical example of the recent COVID-19. It was just a pandemic. Of course, as a result of research and development, vaccines were found or were established which could also avoid this or could control or combat the rapid or the intense killing of people by the COVID-19. So we are saying rapid population growth was promoted as a result of what advancement in medical field. There is increase in agricultural production or productivity. For example, the cultivation of new disease-resistant crops. Agricultural production promoted population growth as a result of provision of health food. People could have enough food or food security, which could be achieved through the use of fertilizers and more effective farming methods, which also balances the population growth versus the food availability, which eventually at the end of the day could be also be explained to say that there is economic growth where people could now afford and could now be able to live within various places which were hitherto or which were not able to be uh, occupied by people then. But now we are saying increased agricultural activities promoted population growth because of food security, because of improved farming methods, because of use of fertilizers, which also increased the yields, and all those could improve in terms of the health living of people. And then population growth in less developed countries is higher than developed countries. This is one point that we should also look at in terms of the comparative analysis of population growth. Population growth in less developed countries class, they have got a higher population growth than developed countries. You can see there is a quite of a contrast, what to call a contra relationship that we can which we can agree in this regard that why is it that less developed countries have got higher population growth than developed countries? As we see, we are saying uh, the sophistication of science and also development in education and so many other factors should also therefore affect the rate at which population should grow. So less developed countries, they've got higher population than developed countries because of certain reasons that I'm just going to explain again as we go in this presentation. So age and gender distribution in terms of accounting on population growth is analyzed via age and gender distribution to say how many people in which age groups and also their gender in order for us to have a specific statistical analysis of population. So age and gender distribution of population can be presented using a population pyramid. A population pyramid is used to analyze and present and also demonstrate a population growth of a country or a population distribution or a population representation of a country. Through a population pyramid, we are able to know which age groups or how many people are in which age categories. And also this can also be summarized as to what as demographic representation, the variation of individuals or people in their various age groups within a population of people. So the number of individuals is plotted on the what? The number of individuals is plotted on the x-axis, uh, on the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, and the ages of the individuals is plotted on the y-axis, which is the central axis. I'm showing you now on this page. One bar shows the number of males of male individuals, and the other bar shows the number of female individuals. So examples of population pyramid is just like this one, which is showing rapid population growth, which shows rapid population growth. How do we account? How do we say that? We are saying uh, the numbers of people are written these numbers which we are having in terms of they are given in millions. So I'm saying as we go from this level up to this, as you see where I'm marking going there, marking going this direction, this is the population or the number of female within a population of a country. How many women or how many female people are we having in a population? So in this regard, we are saying uh, female are represented on the right, and then male are represented on the what? On the left, as you can see on this graph here. So what I'm saying, or what is explained with the population pyramid, we are saying uh, this each bar is representing, as I can show you here, this bar is representing the number of female from the age of what? 0 to 4. How many babies were born, or how many babies are there in a country who are 0 to 4 years? So and so, and on the other left side is also 0 to 4 years of what? Of boys this side, and then of girls that side. We can see that variation of population. So as I've said in this part here, one bar shows the number of the number of males, and then the other bar shows the number of female. As you can see, I'm saying this bar is showing the age, as to say from age of 65. In terms of the female, how many are they? Age 65 to 69. How many uh females are there, and also how many males are there in this regard? And then I indicated that the ages of individuals are plotted on the what? The ages of the number of individuals are plotted on the horizontal axis, and the ages of the individuals are plotted on what? On y-axis. The ages are these ones. This at the end, at the center class, this is the ages which we are referring to. The ages are represented at the center of the what? Of the pyramid, which you can see it is varying from 0 up to 80 plus years. And then you can also see there is a broad base which is also becoming smaller as it goes up there. That is one factor or one other condition that we are supposed to look at. Of a population pyramid of a developing country, the pyramid has got a wider base and a narrow top. Characteristics of a population pyramid of a developing country. So we are saying these are the characteristics of a developing country class of a developing country. The population pyramid is as what we are seeing here. The pyramid has got a wider base or a broad base and a narrow top. As we can see, the population or this population distribution, as you can see, up to the age of 25, from the age of 25 up to this age of 4, we are saying there is a broad base. And then as we go up there again, you see the top is narrow. You see the top is becoming pointy. And even at some point, we can even see that plus 80 years, we are to identify that very few people, even almost 0.0.0.0.01 million people, or zero point 0.1 actually, which is plus 80 years in both male and female. So the wider base indicates a high birth rate. That the wider base indicates high birth rate, and because of unavailability of contraceptive, low education levels, and other factors are accounting to what? Are accounting to high birth rate or to a broader base. So in other words, what I'm saying is that you might also find questions which asks you, or which are going to ask you about why do we have such a population representation in a developing country. Why should it be having a broad base? The broad base is indicating high birth rate. It is high birth rate that is actually depicted by the graph there as a result of what factors are causing high birth rate. High birth rate is caused because of sometimes unavailability of contraception. Contraception are any methods that are used to prevent pregnancy. That is contraceptive. Every approach or method that is used to prevent pregnancy, whether planned or unplanned, it is called what? It is called contraception. And then low education levels. In developing countries, quite a lot of people are still also not much empowered with regard to population planning or family planning. So as a result of that, we are to experience a high birth rate because people, they always engage in what? In sexual activities, which sometimes must be controlled to avoid birth, but people always end up having children because of low education levels. And also we have got some other myths and other uh, societal concepts and theories of having many children as a result of thinking of the dependence or thinking of the backup as people grow old. They think as to say that the children will become a source of support, and as well as other factors such as developing countries still depend on agriculture class. Developing countries are still much into the primary sector. So as a result of that, families are tempted also and are provoked to have a lot of children as a source of labor to assist in their subsistence, farming activities or living conditions that they would require to meet in order for the family to survive. And then the narrow top indicates a high death rate. The narrow top of the population pyramid, it indicates high death rate. The narrow top indicates high death rate because of poor medical care and also nutrition. Nutrition and medical care are factors contributing towards the high death rate of people as they grow old. We also have other factors such as poor, or we can talk about poor industrial conditions. Poor industrial conditions, which we say that there are compromised conditions in workplaces, which we are to understand that quite often people, they do have work which sometimes needs machines, and then they end up being destroyed or they end up having problems as a result of what? Of too much heavy work that they do. We also talk about poor hygiene. Poor hygiene, it can be poor hygiene and sanitation, poor hygiene, and also environmental wellness, environmental, environmental uh, wellness. We identify quite often that people, they work in workplaces which are sometimes unconducive or unsuitable for people to be in. Let's talk about the ventilation. Let's talk about the other diseases that arises as a result of the poor working conditions that people are sometimes exposed to. Such conditions, they also end up causing people to have chronic illnesses that are related to what? To chest and let's say what we call respiratory diseases, which at the end of the day also end up limiting or reducing the life expectancies of what? Of our people in developing countries. We also need to understand the issue of nutrition. Many families are still living without proper food security. Hence, we are saying food security is quite important. Nutrition, diet affects the lifestyle, or it affects the living, or it affects the life expectancy of a person. Where people, or in those families which are living without poor, I mean, with poor nutrition, they are vulnerable to quite a lot of diseases because obviously their immune system is compromised. Hence, they end up getting sick and also becoming ill for a long time, hence they succumb to such various diseases, and then therefore we have a what? A narrow top pyramid that is indicating high death rate. This pyramid is a characteristic of a country which I have said that it is what? It is less developed country. We can give examples in this regard, such as we can give Africa as an example. African countries, African countries I'm saying here is not you need to be specific. We can give them a variety of them. Which countries, which African countries do we have? We know, Musa, that we have got quite a lot of African countries where we identify that people are quite undernourished, and there is also examples of such extreme population growth where women are sometimes being taken as what? As baby making machines, and then in that respect they result in high birth rate, and at the same time there is also the pressing factor of high death rate as we go up, or when people grow, they don't grow to maximum age of maturity, but they die early, which is shown here by something like 45 plus. 45 to 49 is at least the 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 possibly uh life expectancy of these people, where we still have a majority of people living up to. And then we have got a population a stable population growth, which can also be shown by a pyramid such as this one. So, class, I did understand here. Uh, you might also get questions which you are given pyramids, and then with the pyramids, you are supposed to account on the population representation which is being depicted by each of the pyramids. So with this one that I'm demonstrating now, this population pyramid is showing a stable population growth. It is showing a stable population growth, a stable population, a stable population growth is shown by this population, by this pyramid here. And then we can see there is quite of course we have got birth rate is somehow lower, and then we have got also it's less than as we go up, which we are going to identify that from the age of 25 to 30, from 25 to 30 there, as you can see here, we are saying the population is somehow big, or we have got we can have a large population growth there. And then let's quickly just look into the accounting or factors that are causing this type of population pyramid. So as we can see, we are saying this is a population pyramid of a stable population. So uh, this pyramid is characteristics of a stable populations, which are stable populations, or stable population. It is mostly demonstrated in a more developed country. More developed country. More developed countries can show a stable population growth, and then it shows a decline in birth rate. How do we understand that characteristics of a developed country? There is a decline in birth rate. Birth rate decreases because of good family planning and high levels of education. People, in terms of this high level of education, what it is also pointing to is that when people pursue education to higher levels, we are saying as people become more educated and more conscious about learning and education, what happens is that they spend more years in school in pursuing being scholars, pursuing being academias. Hence, they've got less time to focus on families and making children and stuff. Therefore, it shows a low death rate. It shows a low death rate because of good medical care and nutrition that is there. And also we talk about another point that we can also add is good industrial development. Good industrial development, which is also, that is mechanization. Mechanization, we also talk about health and safety. health and safety. There are also these factors that we should also look at. Health and safety in workplaces, in terms of developed countries, it is quite well up to standard that people cannot just die or people cannot succumb to such diseases that are preventable. Some diseases that are killing people in Southern Africa or developing countries are conditions that can be controlled, but unfortunately, because of uh, financial constraints, because of many other finance-related factors, people still succumb to such conditions and problems. And then we have got a negative population growth, where we are seeing that birth rate is very low. We also have low birth rate, but sometimes we are seeing in the active population, there, the active population, there is what? Active population increases. What is causing this? There are quite a lot of factors that might contribute to that, which relates to what? Emigration of people, or migrant laborers, people coming out of coming from from other countries who are seeking for employment. They already know. I am sure that we have heard of certain countries where they have already advertised that because of various problems that have impacted their countries, it can be some disasters, it can be some plagues which have killed thousands and millions of people. So the population is very low, and then they would also, what you call, they can as well uh, look for people or identify people who can come to work in their country from outside, or from neighboring and other countries that are related. This pyramid indicates a declining population. It indicates a declining population, low birth rate, and stable death rate. A declining population is shown by what? Low birth rate and also stable death rate. Increased stable death rate. As you can see, we have got people who are living up to 80 years, 85 plus years. There is high life expectancy also, which means to say that there is a well-developed medical, there is well-developed medical facilities in this respect. And then we can also look at other factors such as what? As increased immigration, like we said, uh, increase in people entering the country who are from other countries, coming from other countries. We are saying those are immigrants, or we are saying immigrants. So as people are entering, or people comes into the country from other countries, there is there is such an increase in population, because they are the ones who would also sustain in terms of the uh, active population, which is also supposed to be industrious, working in various industries or working in various economic sectors of the country. The characteristics of population is well-developed country. This is a well-developed country, very developed country, very developed country can be seen in this regard, which we are saying that we can see even the countries sometimes we can talk about child family planning policies, which they would give to say that people should not have children up to certain age, or people receive incentives. They get some tax exemptions for not having children, and such are factors which account to low birth rate, and also people marrying and then not even having children. Such are also factors that might also account and cause people to have what, or countries to have low birth rate. So basically, I'm saying these are population pyramids that which indicates the various population stabilities or variations among the different developmental stages of many countries. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you would understand, and look forward to the next episode by subscribing and also sharing and liking the videos, so therefore we can be able to grow our our clientele, and then we become better and more. Thank you so much and have a good day. Most appreciated.